It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy. Coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, go, go. Dig, dig, dig. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Hi again, everybody. We've got Greg Biffle here for his media availability today. Greg, what do you need to do this weekend?
Well, I know nobody's going to ask me how I'm going to catch the 48. That's good. Well, it's not good, but I guess that's kind of out of the question. You know, we got a great track record here last 4 years. Last year, not as good as we wanted to be, and feel like this morning's practice we started off a little bit, but we got much better before we switched to qualifying, and qualifying trim we were running good. So I know we ended up very fast on the speed chart. Our last run I got tied off 4 and came out of the gas, but it looked like it was about a top 3 or 4 lap for qualifying. So as long as I can make a good qualifying lap when it counts, it looked like we'd be able to start in the top 10 and hopefully have an opportunity to win our 4th race here in just 5 tries. So hopefully that's the case. In any event, obviously trying to catch Carl for second place in the points. And, that's we'd certainly like to finish up the position we're in. We'd like to finish up second in points like we did in 05, I guess.
Sounds good. Questions for Greg? Amy and Kelly have the microphones, so raise your hand. Let's get start up here at the front with Holly.
Greg, do you finish the year feeling like it was mostly a good year or one that got away? What do you come away with this? Feeling good about it? Or?
Well, as of right now, yes. I kind of feel like it was a good year. I can't really say that it, I feel like it got away. We ran extremely well, but it just simply wasn't. We never did get in the lead, and I don't know if that would have made a difference for me, but 2 wins and a third just to start the chase out was spectacular for us. So we're really excited about that. We have a little bit of homework to do. Martinsville was one of our wild card races for us as a team. We went there and finished 12th. We felt like that was acceptable, a satisfactory grade for what could happen at Martinsville. And the ones we're disappointed about is, personally I'm disappointed about, is Charlotte. We finished 7th at Charlotte. Felt like we had two wins or 2 second place finishes back to back in the spring. And also Atlanta, we didn't finish up where we wanted to, and that was kind of unfortunate. Phoenix last week we had a great car. We probably ran faster laps than the whole field if you averaged them all out, but we just never got track position. We never did get all the way up there to race with those guys. We were within 20 car lengths of passing Carl when the green flag pit cycle came. That was as high as we got the whole day. And we ended up staying out probably longer than we should have, but we stayed out and led a lap. We stayed out 12 more laps, and then when we pitted, he'd gained almost a half a track on us, from having new tires. So, you look back at some of the things that, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, well, we're going to do this different and that different. But overall, I think we had a great chase. I mean, look at us. We're 3rd in points. Nobody had even considered us as making a title run prior to the chase starting. And I think, we came out with 2 wins and a third and still have run strong everywhere. I think that's a pretty good statement. I think we only have 2 I don't know. I think we have 2 finishes out of the top 10 is all, but or 3 including Talladega, but right there 11th and 12th. You know, so that's 12th place, our worst finish that wasn't a wreck. That's not too bad.
Wait for the microphone. Go ahead. Holly's going to ask a follow-up, then we'll
Sorry,
go JJ.
Just real quick. The way you feel now, like you said, when you started the chase off, surely you had to start thinking, hey, maybe this is going to be the one. So, I mean, I guess even your feelings from a few weeks ago to now, I mean.
Yeah, I felt like when we were second race in, third race in, I felt like, yeah, we got a solid chance at this title. And then every week it just slipped a little further away. You know, every single week we fell from there in the points. Never did gain from there on out. And so, you know, the picture started looking grimmer from the third week in. You know, we go to Talladega and get in the big wreck. And it takes a lot of wind out of your sails when that happens. You know, that's a big deficit to overcome. And we just never did overcome that. You know, it was, you know, 125 points or something like that. You know, if it wasn't for that race, we'd still have a shot at the title right now, which would still be a long shot by any stretch of the imaginations, but still would have an opportunity at it. So, you know, we just hopefully next year make the chase again if we're fortunate enough to as a team. We feel like we can, and then just get through Talladega. You know, because we feel like we're competitive enough at all these places that, you know, if we can raise our bar a little bit as a team, you know, we'll certainly be there.
We'll go JJ, Don Coble, Tony Fabrizio.
Well, Greg, you know how tough it is to win one Sprint Cup. What's your thoughts on Jimmy Johnson on the verge of doing something that hasn't been done in 30 years?
Well, I mean, certainly those guys have done a very, very good job at you know, learning from the past. You know, you learn from, you know, technically you learn from your mistakes, if you will. And those guys have been able to just constantly, you know, their graph looks like this. You know, they're just constantly learning, constantly getting better. And that's what you need to do as a team and as an organization to stay competitive and stay, you know, as you finish 7th, you're like, you're not happy with that. How can we do better? And that's exactly what we're going to do next year. We're going to build on that 12th place finish in Martinsville. That wasn't good enough. So we're going to build on that. And that's what they've been able to do.
Don.
Greg, have you heard how much money might be saved by banning all testing, and what is your reaction to the NASCAR outlawing testing next year?
Well, I think it's a really good thing for our sport right now, and you know, certainly, you know, that's a quick reaction on NASCAR's part that we are going to be facing some serious economic times. There's no doubt that's what we're facing. I mean, you know, the auto industry's in big trouble. The financial meltdown. You know, just all kinds of things, all across the board. You know, it's unfortunate, you know, for the all the teams and organizations that we're not going to be able to go test. As far as, you know, as far as the drivers and the crew guys are considered, you know, that obviously it's going to save a tremendous amount of money. It's going to save a lot of money. Unfortunately, with saving money or cutting back comes jobs. You know, that's the downside to some of this is, you know, if you're not going to be testing and you're not doing as much testing, then sometimes you don't need as many, you know, items to do that with. But I think it's going to be great for our sport. I think it's good that NASCAR's reacting to this economic times, the economy, and it's going to be able to save the teams a tremendous amount of money because the budgets are going to be tightening up. And I think it's totally the right thing to do, 100%.
We'll go Tony,